Just got back from our trip to Andover. What a beautiful time we had. We have to figure out what we're gonna do with this bike. I don't know. What do you think our options is? We have to do something about that. That bike, as you guys know from the trip, it took a beating, took a hammer. And you can see that crack. Welcome everybody to this week's episode of Garage Groove. Thanks for joining us. So this week we are going to put the spotlight on this thing, the Yamazuki. Its turn has finally come. We're gonna do a little bit of attention. We're gonna give that bike a little attention. We gotta address this issue right there, and I think the first thing we're going to do is we need to put this back to where it was. We need to push this somehow down so it covers that gap, and we're going to put a weld on it so it's in place, and then we're going to we're going to reinforce it, and we're going to, I don't know yet exactly how. It's definitely going to be stronger than what it was. Here's the other thing. I talked to some local machine shops and stuff. They said to do simple welding on it, it's going to be a couple $100. To do anything more than that, it can go up from there. So, you know, I don't know, is this bike worth it? I mean, I could have easily $500 into the swing arm, and you know, how much more stronger are they going to make it? I mean, I think we're going to do it right here in house, and I have a couple ideas of how to make it. It's going to definitely be stronger. How much stronger, we don't know. When we take it out to ride it, I'm not going to be shy with this bike. I'm going to run it, and I'm going to run it hard. And we're going to see, you know, every ride, we're going to see if this swing arm holds up, and then we'll find out from there what type of a job I did. So that's what we're going to work on. So the first step to any of this, the swing arm, is going to be to put this back. Okay, let's get started. I'll see you in a minute. Okay, so what we did, we took the wheel right off of it, okay, and I used some MAP gas, and what we did was, I don't even know if you can, it's closed off as best it's going to. Now we're going to work from here. We're going to add some steel stock to this and reinforce it. The back looks a lot worse than the front did. Look at that. Cracked all the way through. That cracked all the way through. It's a good thing we had that steel tubing going through. So first step is to weld all of this. Okay. Welding the crack is gonna kind of get it into place. That's all it's gonna do. We can't run it like that. We have to add some steel and make it stronger after that. So that is yet to be decided. But the first step is to go ahead and weld this side and weld that side. So we're gonna get that done, and we'll see you in a minute. Welcome back everybody. So we are working on the Yamazuki. This thing took a beating at Andover, and what we're doing is we want to restructure this thing. So what we've done so far, if you haven't followed this bike from the beginning, we took it to Andover, and Andover, New York, ended up cracking the swing arm on it, and so this is where we're at right now. We took the swing arm right off. This is where we're at. And here is our nice big fat crack. Look at that. Okay, so I think what we're going to do is we're going to use like a plug system to fix this, to restructure it. The way that works is we have, since we already have an inner square stock going in here, and then we have an inner square stock coming in here like this, joining them, right? So we're gonna drill we're gonna drill a hole here, we're gonna drill a hole here, and then we're gonna drill a hole here and here, and we're gonna put plugs in there and weld it from both sides. So it's gonna have the support of two square stock steel, and then we'll run a plate, a flat stock across on both sides, and I think that will do it. We're not gonna be able to take 10-foot jumps with this thing, but I think for what we want to do with this bike, it should be able to handle it. So the first step to this is we want to put some weld here. We want to put a weld along this crack, and then we'll start drilling our holes. And we're going to put some nice cylindrical plugs in them and weld them from both sides, and that should strengthen it quite a bit. So let's go ahead and do some welding, and we'll see you in a little bit. Okay, so we've done welded this thing. It's far from being done. Let's take a look at what we've done so far. So we started off by taking the swing arm completely off, and we repositioned the fracture where it should be. Remember, it was cracked and it was kind of tearing apart. So we put it back together, and then we put a weld on it. There's the weld coming all the way down. We took it from the top too. Okay, and we got it from the back also. But now, we can't leave it like that. It didn't hold the first time. There's no reason why it's going to hold again. So we have to make it stronger. Now, I mentioned this thing called a plug system. It's just something I made up. But this is what I mean by it. You see the two black marks? That's the extension piece. Inside it is represented by the white marks. Inside this, there's two square stock, square stock, or square tubing on the inside of this thing, like that. So we're gonna drill a hole all the way through it, 4 holes on each side, okay? And then we're gonna take a cylindrical piece of steel like rebar or something. I don't know if it's going to be rebar, but a nice smooth piece steel, and we're going to push it all the way through on 4 places on each side, and then we're going to weld around it. Now that is going to give a double wall protection where the extension is. It will not. This would have not cracked all the way through. It's because of that internal piece I put in. The only thing was that since it wasn't stabilized on the inside, I thought it was tight enough. You know, I tapped it in with the hammer, but apparently it's loosened up. So with the plugs, it's going to stay strong. And then we'll hit it with the weld around it, and then we'll sand it all off. Put a new paint job on it. It should look good, and it'll be stronger. So let's go ahead and we're going to draw out exactly. This was just a quick drawing. I got to do an actual figure out where everything is at and drill some nice holes, and then we'll come back with the new holes drilled through. We'll see you in a little bit. Okay, so what we have done so far, we had to do a lot of drilling. I went through quite a few of the 1/4-inch bits, but that's all we want. We wanted to do 1/4-inch. I was going to do 1/2 inch, but then I saw how much metal it was going to take out of the swing arm, and I didn't like that, so I made the hole smaller. But we're going to use hardened pins. We're going to use the hardened pins, and let me show you the nice double wall we got here. Yeah, you can see there. You can see the nice double wall. Those right there. Those pins are going to add tremendous amount of support that it did not have before. So we're hoping that the swing arm becomes actually stronger. Now I haven't decided yet, but I may right over run another piece of flat steel, you know, kind of trim it out like this, and then trim it out, and then run it probably somewhere like that. Okay, let's take a look at and see what we've done so far. There's been a lot of fabrication on this thing, but we want to make sure this thing is going to be strong, man. And we get on it, you know. I hammer on it, and sometimes you don't know, you know. When you're in the zone and you're hammering on a bike, you might be floating over nose and stuff, and you don't know. You can't pay attention to all that. But let's take a look at this bracket I've made. So this is an extra support bracket, and the way that is going to work is that's how the bracket's going to sit, and that's already nice and tight. And the way this works is these are going to get cut off and tack welded, and then we're going to smooth it, grind it. Same here. These are going to get tack welded. We're going to run a bead right along all of this and right up through here. In fact, we're going to run a bead between here and the shock mount to give that support too. And then we're going to trim or we're going to grind all this down and make it flat. And then I'll try to smooth some of these out with the grinder. Try to make it as nice as possible. L bracket there, having this L right there is going to make a tremendous amount of support. You know, now keep in mind, these pins, or bolts I should say, are going through internal pieces also that's connecting all this. I seriously doubt this thing is going to give now. Seriously doubt it. I mean, I'm not going to be taking 8 and 10 foot jumps on this thing, but to take 3-4 feet of air, I don't think it's going to be an issue anymore. Okay, welcome back. We have done a lot of grinding and a lot of welding and all sorts of stuff. But our swing arm is very nice. I have all the confidence in this swing arm, the way we have structured it. Let's go over it real quick. Now keep in mind, this thing is ugly, but we're gonna fix that. We're gonna paint it and all of that stuff. But let's take a look at the structural components of this thing. Everything we have done to this. So here you can see we have added a nice metal bracket. It's been welded all the way around. Not only that, we have added pins They were actually bolts, but they're acting as pins now. We've added pins all through here to structurally tie the internal metal to the surface metal. That's what we're looking at. That's what we're looking at. Okay, so we've done some cleaning up as best as I can, man. This thing is not pretty. I mean, look at what we're working with. We're working with a Frankenstein. So, it's strong. That's all we know. But check it out. We got her hanging. We got it cleaned up as best as we can. And we're going to hit it with a coat of primer. And then we'll throw a little paint on it. I've scuffed everything up a little bit. That's a heavy swing arm, man. I'll tell you what. It's pretty robust. Good thing the motor's got a bunch of power. We can always add teeth to the back or decrease teeth in the front to get more power, but it should run fine. It should run good. We're gonna do another review on this bike once it's legit, man. I mean, last time I was hating on the bike because you can't turn the steering wheel and, you know, you couldn't do a full radius. But let's go ahead and throw a little primer on it, and then we'll catch up here in a minute. Okay, so we have prettied up our swing arm for the Yamazuki. We started off with a cracked swing arm that we brought back from a ride, and we have made this thing very robust. Consequently, it looked pretty ugly, and it still does, but we did the best we could. It's strong though. That's all that's important. Check it out. We have primed it, painted it, and clear coated it. Put a couple decals on it. The biggest thing here is the weight of it went up a little bit. I did grind as much off as I could without losing any structural integrity on it, the welds and stuff, but it's okay, you know, for this bike, for it to be a little bit heavier. We tried to do the best we could. Like I said, we had a couple different options. I talked with another a welding facility, and they said fixing a swing arm like this, it would start at around 250 bucks just for the welding, and then if they have to do more fabrication and stuff, it can go up to 500-600 bucks. So I saw that potential there, and I kind of veered away from it, because if this was a vintage collector bike, that'd be a different thing, you know. A bike that needs to be legit and correct is different than a Frankenstein bike like this. But we have a very structurally strong swing arm. Okay, so we have wrapped up the swing arm for this Yamazuki. There's a couple other things we're going to do to it. That's going to come on the next episode. I was going to fix the brakes and the gas tank all in the same episode, but my tank never showed up. It's the holiday season, and the FedEx packages are all backed up. I was supposed to have it last week, and I never got it. In fact, I was supposed to have it 3 other times, and it keeps getting pushed forward. So I still don't have it. So we're going to not wait on it. I'm going to get you guys caught up on this bike, and we'll publish this video, and we'll do this episode so you guys get a feel for what we've done so far. Now, this episode was about the swing arm. Okay, we've done a lot of work to this. We did a lot of grinding, a lot of welding, a lot of fabrication to make this thing stronger. How did it turn out? Well, you guys saw the swing arm. Let's see what it looks like on the bike. There you have it. Okay. So, let's talk about what we did here. We have quite the mess going on right there. We prettied it up with a little bit of stickers, but let's talk about that. This bracket, these are two 9-inch brackets, one on this side, one on the other side. We cut those out of this piece of steel right here. Okay, this is a C channel, and I had to trim it one side of it to make an L bracket. But we got about 30 bucks into this. Okay, how did we do? Well, I feel that this is going to be a lot stronger. Are we going to be able to race it? I would still say no. No. Can't race it. But to be hammering on this bike, getting 2, 3, 4 feet of air, running through fields and knolls and woods and valleys and whatever, I think it's going to do just fine. We'll find out. You'll find out, because you'll be right with us when we're going to be running this thing and beating on it. This is a beater. I love beaters, man. Nice bikes. Look how nice that spins. Very nice. The bike is tight. Swing arm is tight. Everything looks great. As good as, well, I shouldn't say great, because it's hard to make a bike like this look great, but this was the side that was actually cracked. Okay. And again, there's a lot going on underneath this too. We have another piece of steel tubing going through here. We got pins going through everything, holding it all together. And I think it'll work. Okay. And like I said, the other option was to take it to a fabrication place, and they did not have a very economical outlook on this thing. I mean, they were starting to $200 to $250. That's just welding. If they had to make this more robust and add steel and fabricate and cut, something like this would have cost $700, $800, you know, and this bike just isn't worth it, you know. So that's why we do stuff in-house, man. It's fun, and we learn stuff, and I get to pass it along to you guys, and that's the magic. If I can't do that, why are we even doing all of this? You know, this bike don't mean that much to me. We have fun with it. Half the fun's in fixing it and building it and see if it's going to work. We fixed this. Now when we're running it, we'll find out if I did a good job or not. So anyways, we have the second episode coming up right after this, as soon as I get my stuff. We did quite a bit of work to this. We're going to continue doing work on this in the second episode. So thank you, as always, for joining us, always being with us. Please subscribe. Please like this channel so we can keep things going, keep sharing things with you guys. And we love doing it. We enjoy it. So until the next time, we'll see you, okay? Everybody have a wonderful holiday season. We'll catch up with you really quick. Take care.